Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Charlotte. I am Reverend Lisa Herklotz. I am co-minister here with my husband, Reverend Jim, who you'll be hearing from shortly. And I just want to say we're glad you're here. And if you're joining us online on Zoom, welcome to you too. It's always nice to have you here. And if you're watching this later off of our YouTube channel, we're glad you're checking in. We have a mission statement here at Unity that we like to read out loud because this is a statement of why we're here. So it's a very important statement to us. So I invite you to join with me as we speak our mission aloud. Unity of Charlotte is the place where we nurture a deep and mature experience of God through the practice of unity principles. Simply put, we are here to love, grow, and serve. Thank you. And now we take a moment to just find out if we have any first-time visitors here. If you just raise your hand so we can give you a warm welcome. We have two over here. Thank you. And a gentleman, Michael, over here. I do have to say, I know these two. We met them on the 4th of July at a beautiful celebration of liberation through building on our dreams. So thank you. We're so happy you checked in. There's so many ways to find out about what's going on at Unity of Charlotte, and we've added to these ways. So you know that we have our website. We have a newsletter, which you can sign up for on that website, and also find out everything that's going on here at Unity. We have a Facebook page, which we'd love to have you go and like and follow, which we're going to be talking more about as we talk about our marketing strategy. We have our YouTube channel where we have all of our services and also some short reels and other things saved so you can get a taste for Unity or go back and watch another service or message if you want to go back. YouTube, if you go on YouTube, please subscribe because that really helps us get the word out. We also have added Instagram and Blue Sky, so we're going to talk a little bit more about those later. And then, of course, our bulletin board, if you're here in person, please check that out. I've just added a couple of events happening through MECMIN, that is our Mecklenburg Metropolitan Interfaith Network. They have a service project coming up that if anyone would like to join, I'm going to try to get to it. And they also have their quarterly open tables event, which we're used to going to. So please come and join us and check those out on the bulletin board. All right. Now we take a deep breath in as we turn together in prayer. Take a moment to just notice where your focus is and gently turn it inward, moving from your head to your heart. As we gather in this sacred space, in this holy time, to shift our thoughts and our feelings to the affirmation of the spiritual truth we live in and as. It's easy to forget as we look out in our world and see the incredible appearance of separation, of divisiveness, of greed, of cruelty, and a lack of compassion. But when we come in prayer, we recognize this is not our truth. Our truth is that life is one, and life is love, connection, expansion, evolution, and life cannot be stopped. The other divine truth we remember and know in this moment is we are an expression and extension of that life. Therefore, we are here to grow, to expand, to love, to connect, to remember the one life we all share. Let this be our guiding direction the wisdom we use to make decisions, to take actions in the world, and the light that shines from us each time we speak and move and have our being, so that all may remember these divine truths. In joy and gratitude for remembering this. Is where we stand. And so it is. I invite you now to lift aloud any name or situation you would like to uplift in prayer as I open this space in silence. Please speak a name aloud now. World leaders. We know in faith that even as these names are spoken, whether aloud or held in our hearts, that Spirit is moving in and through each person in every situation to bring about the best and the highest good for all. And so it is. Please join me in speaking aloud our unity prayer of oneness. There is one presence and one power in my life and universe, God, the good, omnipotence. We claim and affirm this presence in our lives as love, and know that we have a prayer team that receives prayer requests and holds them in prayer for 30 days. They then take those prayer requests and send them to Silent Unity, where they are held in prayer again for another 30 days. You can leave a prayer request right outside the door in our prayer box. There's a form you can fill out. There's also an online form on our website that you can fill out, and that will go directly to our prayer team. And it's important to know that all of these prayers are held in the strictest of confidence. We also have Silent Unity, just for those who need to pick up a phone and speak to a person. They have 24/7 service for prayer at 816-969-2000. That's also on our website if you need to remember that number. And now I'd like to invite Chris up to do our daily word reading.
Good morning.
Morning.
Daily word, possibilities. I open my mind to the limitless possibilities. There are limits to what my mind can imagine. I may find a challenge too big to overcome or too complex to work through in the past. I might have avoided such challenges, but today I turn within for guidance. Within my inner sanctuary, I find infinite possibilities. For God, nothing is or ever could be impossible. This spiritual being, I open my mind so these possibilities can enter my imagination. With spiritual insight, I begin to apprehend what is possible. I emerge from my prayer time filled with inspiration and clarity, ready to take the next steps necessary to make my vision reality. I return again and again to the limitless field of an infinite potential where I can claim divine ideals and knowing presence and power of God is in and through all things. For nothing will be impossible with God. Luke 37.
Daily word. Yeah, absolutely. We love Faith Rivera, and to cut you guys in on the process, because sometimes this isn't always obvious. The process is one of us speaks each week, and whoever is speaking gets to find the music for that day. So Faith Rivera is who I found for this Sunday. And I was looking for something that talked about freedom. I'm going to get rid of this. That talked about freedom, but not from a patriotic sense. So, and you're going to understand why as I continue on with this message here today, this talk, that Faith Rivera talked about freedom and peace. And then what I found out, I dug down deeper into some of the lyrics that she was talking about. She was talking about the American play, or no, it's not an American play, Waiting for Godot. Does anyone know that play? See, there you go. You probably know more than I did yesterday about Waiting for Godot, but I dug deep into it. It is a two-person play, mainly. She mentioned their names, their nicknames in the lyrics, and then Waiting for Godot. It is two people and then a couple other minor characters, three other minor characters, but two friends standing under a dead tree in 2 acts. Two people, 2 acts under a dead tree. It is lovingly known as the play that does nothing. Twice, because of the 2 acts. But she studied this, Faith Rivera studied this play in college and wrote that song because of the idea that she gained from that play in terms of overcoming limited beliefs. It's about the freedom from overcoming those beliefs. Those two characters seemed to be stuck in their fear of where they were. And there's a lot of debate. Were they waiting for Godot to free them from that bondage that they felt like, that fear, that sense of not knowing what to do? But that's how she wrote those lyrics. Part of the lyrics is very important to me, and I'll share that with you. Faith Rivera said, "The answer lies not in some saving grace. It lies not in some saving grace." So this is part of our theology as unity. Unity theology does not say that we have to expect that we were born into original sin and have to expect to be saved. That is not who we are. Correct? We've heard that. We know that. That is not who we are. We are not waiting or proving ourselves to be saved. So, we are to be transformed by the renewing of our mind, Apostle Paul said in the book of Romans. But what does that mean, to be transformed by the renewing of your mind? So that's the New Testament. That's one of the letters to the church in Rome. It's finding freedom from our limiting belief that limits us by fear, by hate, by self-imposed boundaries. Those are the limitations that we self-impose on ourselves and then struggle with within our lives. She also talked about the lunacy within our minds as a limiting factor. Oh, I had one of those moments this week. The lunacy within my mind, and I ran with it. That is something that we have, that we overcome as well. That we overcome as well. What we do is within the unity movement, we recognize the outer celebration of the 4th of July. So we're not ignoring the 4th of July. We're not ignoring Independence Day. We are saying that we want to acknowledge and celebrate that external event, especially here in the US of A. And in fact, we can enjoy it. We enjoyed that time at the park with new friends that we made. We had hot dogs at home. Veggie hot dogs, yes, absolutely. We had veggie hot dogs. Just to be clear, we had those veggie hot dogs. We had some watermelon. We enjoyed fireworks outside of our backyard. We live on the back fence of the Ballantine Country Club, and so they had their fireworks that were just for us. They're just for us. So we enjoyed that, and we're saying that that's okay, that Independence Day, that 4th of July, but we're going to make a shift here when we talk today. We're going to shift from that patriotic idea, we're going to shift into the spirituality of it. The spirituality of what freedom means to each and every one of us, and then collectively as well. What is freedom? What is freedom? And I'm going to give you a hint. It has nothing to do with flags, with national flags. It has nothing to do with nationalism. It is about that true spiritual freedom that begins within ourselves. And we know that, right? Everything starts from within. All the change that we go through within our world is starting from that modification of our heart space, where that is. That is, and we're going to talk about these three things here today, that freedom to release those inherited beliefs. We're going to talk about the freedom from internalized judgments that we sometimes struggle with. That's a freedom that a spiritual freedom that we're talking about, or the freedom to embrace our divine identity. Those are three things that we're going to talk about today in terms of freedom, growing through freedom. Like Reverend Lisa talked about, that is our topic for July, the freedom through, or the growing through freedom. So those beliefs, those judgments, those our humanity, as we grow into our spiritual selves, these are the things that humanity that we see within our own lives, the lunacy that we see within our own lives, these are the things that keep us small. These are the things that keep us stuck sometimes. We're not denying it. This is not spiritual bypass. We're not denying these things, but we're going to grow through them. And we can grow through them as a community. We can help each other out as well. We're going beyond that stuckness or that smallness that we can be there for years on these limiting beliefs that we tell ourselves. So yes, we are experiencing this humanness within our lives. We're short, we're tall, we're old, we're young, all in this room, all these things. We're male, we're female, we're non-binary. We're ministers. We have some teachers out here, social workers, nurses, cabinet makers, scientists. We have some postal workers, yeah. We have some poets. All of this brings us together as a community that's growing together as well. Within the unity perspective, we are not limited by these characteristics. We're not limited by these careers which we live our lives. We're not bound by our past conditions, and especially we're not trapped by them. We're not trapped by them. We had an event this week. We had pub theology at Sir Edmund's down the road here, and it was pointed out that I am not that tall. Especially when I said, I like to watch a good basketball game. I loved basketball in high school back when we were all about the same size, and I loved to play basketball. But at 5'7.5", I am not going to have an NBA career, right? So when someone says you can do anything, you can be anything you want in this world, but what's important is the spiritual end of what we're talking about here today, our growth, our spirituality. I can love to watch the finals on TV. That's how I participate in that as well. So that first thing that we're going to talk about, our freedom to release inherited beliefs. This is our unlimited nature in this world, in this life here today. This is what our co-founder in the Unity Movement, Myrtle Fillmore, along with her husband, Charles. So Myrtle and Charles co-founded the Unity Movement. She said, every thought we think is creating our future. It all starts in our head, our mind, our thoughts. Nothing happens in a creative space that we live without that thought gelling and allowing us to move forward creatively with that. That is the shift into freedom, is that thought process. That thought process right there. But what is practical about this? We can talk theoretically all day long about all these things, and I wanted to list with each one of these quotes, each one of these scriptures or whatever, I wanted to say, what is practical in my life? What can I do? What can you do today, tomorrow, and throughout the week and into the future? To be practical about this, become conscious of what you're carrying with you. We can't change what we don't know or don't realize, right? So sometimes it's that awareness of what is slowing me down or what is stifling me is the best first step, the awareness. Be conscious of, and don't just let that unconscious stream stay there and struggle with it. Be aware of what you're carrying with you, and that is that first step as well. We choose our thoughts, and we release those that no longer serve us. That's something else Myrtle Fillmore would say. We release that which no longer serves us. That's a practical piece of everything in here. Let's talk about that next one. Freedom from internalized judgment. Andre Gide, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. He is a Nobel Prize winner many years ago, but he once wrote, "We do not receive wisdom. We must discover it for ourselves with a journey that no one can take for us." I've got to do this myself. I have to struggle with it sometimes, maybe in community, but it is up to me, and I need to take responsibility for that. That's part of what this is saying here. If we pick this apart a little bit, he's also saying that we don't receive wisdom, we don't pray for it, we don't read it in a book and gain wisdom. We are wisdom. That's who we were created to be, is having that wisdom. Sometimes it's a discovery. But we're not waiting for someone to endow us with wisdom. We have it, we can work on it, but it's there for us. All of those things, wisdom especially, is right there for us. And it is a journey that each one of us takes, and each one of us comes together collectively as well. Sometimes we live under a weight. This is part of that struggle that we sometimes go through, This is our humanity that pokes through our lives. We have that weight of shame and guilt and not being enough that we have somehow learned, maybe from our childhood, maybe from our families, maybe from our society, those lessons from society. Sometimes they're there. But these judgments are not true. They're mental constructs that keep us feeling small. And they're self-imposed, is what I'm saying. They're self-imposed that once we realize we can work our way through those, they keep us small, they keep us stifled. Spiritual freedom means that we're reclaiming our innocence and our worth because we are fully worth that divineness that we know. We are. In fact, I want us to really hear that. I'll say it for myself, and then I'm going to ask you to repeat it. So let me say it for me. I am worthy. Let me hear you say that.
I am worthy.
One more time. I am worthy.
I am worthy.
Absolutely. And I hope that you believe that. I hope that you believe that. Our practical piece of this is to take responsibility and to know deep down in your bones that you are enough, that you're worthy, and that you're enough. Another, I am enough. I am enough. Our third thing that we're going to talk about here today is that freedom to embrace our divine identity. Within Unity, we talk about that idea that we were created in the image and likeness of God. You can call it God, you can call it the creative power, you can call it the universe, you can call it, give me another name for it. Source, whatever it is. We were created in the image of that power as good. That's what we're saying. We weren't created flawed. No, we were not. We were created in the image and likeness of that goodness of God. Eric Butterworth, a Unity minister and author, you are not limited by past thinking. You are unlimited spirit expressing. You're not limited. Sometimes that's our wake-up moment, is knowing that we're not limited. And I want you to look at that second piece of that. You are unlimited spirit expressing. You are not unlimited spirits, is not what he's saying. We are not individual heads popping up. We are spirit. We are that collective oneness of the universe that looks independent at moments, but we are spirit. And we are expressing in that unlimited fashion. That's who we are. Absolutely. That is who we are. The renewing of the mind is not just about letting go, but about claiming the truth in our lives. Claiming the truth. I am. Yeah, that's Moses talking. Or no, that's God talking. That's God talking to Moses. I am that I am. We can use that same phrase in whatever we want. In the past, I've said, I am, and gave myself some limiting thoughts there. God, I'm an idiot. Whoa, cross that out, right? I don't want that in my life. I am divine. I am unlimited. This is where the real power and joy lives within our lives, not in the struggle of our humanity, but in the spiritual clarity of who we really are. What's the practical piece of this? The practical piece of this divine identity is that I become clear of my oneness and my goodness in the universe. I become clear. I work with it. I read good things. I talk to people that uplift me. I hang out with those people that say I am worthy, that celebrate my oneness with me. That's who I am. That's becoming clear of my oneness and my goodness. With this, I tell myself, moving into unity speak, I tell myself that, and I'm going to ask you to join me, just like we did earlier, that I am divine. Wow, okay, you jumped it. Good for you. Let's do it again with gusto. I am divine.
I am divine.
Yes, and believe it and feel it. I am divine. Absolutely. In review, and going back to where we've gone over the past 15, 20 minutes, talking about Faith Rivera and her realization that she studied and learned from Godot and waiting for Godot. The answer lies not in some saving grace. That was her realization. But instead, we're transformed by the renewing of our mind. It's us realizing what we are already. We're not changing, but we are realizing who we are as we're worthy, as we're divine. All these things as we're enough. That's what we're doing, is we're coming back to the truth of ourselves. The answer lies not in some saving grace, but that wisdom tells us that we're being transformed ourselves as we do this, as we work on it. We're leaving behind, I hope. I would like to affirm for myself that I'm leaving behind feeling small. I'm leaving behind feeling stuck. I am moving upward and beyond as well. I am free from limiting beliefs. So, say with me one more time. I'm worthy. I am enough. And I am divine. My clicker's a little slow here today. I am divine. Thank you so much. Let's move into meditation. I invite you to get yourself nice and comfortable. Move around in your seat. If it makes sense, your feet flat on the ground. Find a place for your hands in your lap, on your legs. If it feels right, you can close your eyes. If it doesn't feel right about closing your eyes, you can watch that candle on the screen. You can hear that gentle music in the background as well. But our time here today, the next 5 minutes or so, is to move within, is to focus on the silence. As we prepare ourselves, we might utilize that breath. Notice that breath within our body. Feel that inhale. Notice that exhale. And then move into that rhythm of that breath as we leave those thoughts behind. We acknowledge the thoughts. We don't remove the thoughts in our mind, but we allow them to float by, to easily move from our head down into our heart. When those thoughts come back into our head, we just move back and feel that breath once again. As we inhale, as we exhale. We might even notice that space within that breath at the top as we inhale, and then there's a pause before we exhale. This is simply to focus, to calm that monkey mind, to open our heart and focus on the spiritual quality of that which we know we are, that wisdom and that oneness. This is a consciousness that knows worldly circumstances do not dictate my reality. My reality is spiritual. My reality is based in love. This is my reality. This act of turning within, quieting my mind, and opening up to that love makes all the difference in the world. As we spend the next minute or so in silence. And as we begin to come out of this silence, just nice and easy, gently, maybe taking in a breath and letting it out, becoming aware of the room around us once again, gently opening our eyes when you're ready, and claiming that idea that I am enough. That is your birthright. That is truly who you are. And we are blessed with that knowledge. And we know that that is so. Namaste. Know that I love you. Know that I bless you. Know that I appreciate you. And know that I see the divine in each and every one of your eyes, each and every one of your faces. Namaste.
So this is a time in our service where we get to enjoy and engage in that great act of circulation. So if you feel spiritually fed by Unity of Charlotte and all of the works that it gives, then we invite you to be a part of the great circulation of giving and receiving, because we need you. Your energy, your vitality, and your gifts feed this community, and it makes you, it enables us to be available to the rest of this community outside and to our world. So we have many ways of consistent giving. Most of you have seen this. We have ways to do online giving. If you don't have something to put into the plate, you might find in those plates a little gift. I don't know, do we have any affirmations left in there? We do, okay. So our lovely board president has created this amazing slip of affirmations, and they're in there as a gift to you. So if you have nothing to give today, take an affirmation. That's our gift to you to take away. And I would like you to hold in your hand any gift you would like to give. If you give electronically, I invite you to imagine that gift right now as we speak together our abundance blessing. Joyously, I give this gift, knowing the divine presence blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. Usher. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. We are light, love, power, and presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.